Cecil! Ah! Hi, Lillian. Give me a second, I'm looking for music. Thank you for the pet, Loros. I'm on the floor, and I'm upset about it. Oh, and I'm T-posing! I forgot to hit the button. Cecil!
I'm not going anywhere!
Shush! Cecil's yelling. Oh my god, ow, ow, ow. Oh god, the Dominus! Yeah. You thought, and then I said, yeah, I don't care if you have Neopets. Boom, and then I dabbed on him. But, give me just a second. I am turning down some stuff, and I'm also dealing with Cecil being a yelly boy bingus. Okay, so where is that dope video? Aha, here it is. I found it. Turned down for what? Anyway. Turned down for what? God damn it. Now I have to listen to that version of it. Hold on. We're gonna go on a... We're gonna fucking go on a journey. If it'll load. Nope, Laura's in the ad dimension, that's okay. Dude, there's this bug that keeps fucking with me. Cecil, do your job.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Anyway. We'll go back to, Mario Artist? I don't know what this music is. It's really good, though. Welcome in, Sun and Moon! Yeah, let's catch up on chat real quick. Whee! Did you get first again? Oh, cheeky smile. Here's your big gulp. It's my hand. I put a tiny bat in it just for you. And how are you, Lilin? I hope you're doing okay as well. As well as Loros. I'm glad to see you in here. And then, of course, we have Sun and Moon just dropping in. While Bullboy is in ad dimension, you should all know you're cuties all poking fun at each other. Yeah, we pretty much are. That's all we are. We're just little nerds. Oh, this is... I recognize this music. I was like, why is this so dope? It's Thousand Year Door. That's why. Alrighty, so... It is Wednesday, my dudes. And we know what Wednesday's for. We're going to Worldbuild. But before that, we're going to Wagugus, because Wagugus is love, Wagugus is life. So Cecil's being cute. Deaf to all denials because of ads, so I accepted as fact. Laros, you're cute! I don't know if you're back from the ads yet. Twitch needs to get its shit together. I set the ads at a very specific time, and then they just like, oh, we're gonna play them whenever we want anyway. It's like, fuck you, no. World Wagugus Wednesday. It is World Wagugus Wednesday. Worldbuild Wednesday! Worldbuild Wednesday! Yeah, it's Worldbuild Wednesday. Hi, Blubbo. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Goodbye. Wagoog. Babe, it's okay, you can Wagugus. You can say it is indeed ah, yes, thank you. Thank you for the, you pinned a message. I don't know if you meant to do that on purpose. Oh, there it goes. Wagoogle. I got free clothes today? Nice! Free clothes is always good. Free anything is always good. It's just a nice surprise. Be able to get some writing done before I start video editing later today. Ooh, nice, nice, nice. Welcome back, Loros. Guess what? You're cute too. Got a lot of stuff on my plate. Well, eat one thing at a time. I've tried to tackle multiple things at once, and then my brain it decides it doesn't want to do any of them. So, Loros, I know I am. Good, as long as you know. That's all I care about. Alright, I'm actually going to save this music that I'm listening to because it's real good and I'm going to put it on my playlist. I really need to go through my playlist and get rid of all the shit that I don't listen to anymore. It's got like 20 videos on it and I listen to the same like 4. But now I've got a new one that I really like. It's this one. But yes, it is Wednesday, which means it is world building day. Let me just go and find something real quick. How do I get to it? Whoops. What? Fuck, I forgot how to get to Google Sites. I guess just Google Sites. There we go. Sites.google. And we're going to go over my TTRPG. So, for those of you who don't know for some reason, because I'm constantly talking about it, I've started making my own tabletop RPG. Because, 5e has started to take its toll on me. As much fun as it used to be, 5e D&D has been kind of... what the fuck is a table? Let's see. It's like the floor, but it's on 4 sticks, and it's usually raised up to about your knee, or your hips, and you sit next to it in this thing called a chair. The chair is like a table, but it's tiny, and it's got a slab of wood in the back for back support. You sit on that next to the table. Anyway, hi Radiant! No, Radiant! No! No throwing dildos through my fucking windows. The thing I push you onto, I thought that was the bed. Whoa! There's some gay shit happening in my chat. Then again, look at me, I understand, I guess. you get the energy you put out, I guess. Something people have fun on, usually up to 4 people. Also, people eat on it as well. Hello? Well, I'm not gonna ask. But welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Radiant, as well. But, yeah, we're making my own, tabletop RPG. Because as much as I care about... Thank you for the pet. As much as I liked D&D for what it was, because I've been playing it since about, I want to say 3.5, I'm trying to remember when I started, because I was like 14, 15 when I started, and it was one of my friends who was my, DMs, their dad was my DM. I joined one of their group sessions, and it was pretty fun. I liked it for what it was. And then I just didn't play for a while. And then I met Leeline. And that's when we all started playing together, like, a lot in 4E. And 4E was... Dad man. He really was Dad man. Dude, I fucking wish that guy was my dad. He was fucking cool. He was a gamer nerd. He was the one who introduced me to D&D. He played a fuck ton of Morrowind. He had arcades. He owned his own, like, arcade machines of, like, a couple of games that he liked. I think he had Street Fighter and Darkstalkers. And that's actually where I learned to play Darkstalkers for a while. Because he had an arcade machine. And he had set it up to where you didn't have to pay coins because it was his own personal machine. It was fucking cool, but... that guy was dope. But yeah, back to what I was saying. We played 4E for a while. It was pretty fun, but we all know 4E is kind of busted. And then they came out with 5E, and we're like, sweet! And that was like in what, 2012? What are you doing? Baba. When did 5E come out? 2012? 2013? I lost my... There we go. I was like, why isn't it picking me up? I'm not moving anymore. But... yeah, it's been a while. So... 5e is old, and it's starting to feel old to me. Is that the Battler? Yeah. Thank you for the pet, Renetta. Also, can I just say, raise a hands here. Anyone who has ever DM'd a fucking D&D game, you fucking tell me right now, you do not follow all the rules. You don't. You don't even know every single rule in that book. And that's okay. You home rule a lot of shit. You house rules it. I guarantee you house rules it. Because no one on fucking Earth is that much of a stickler, unless they're in a, you know, like a, what's the word? Like one of those, like, glasses pushing nerds. It's like, actually, because the wind velocity is 60 right now, and your arrow, like, no one fucking does that. If I'm not wrong, you're meant to bend the rules. Yeah, everyone house rules it. Yes, a rules lawyer, thank you. Like, I was gonna say, like, the Melvin-ass nerds that are, like, a stickler for the rules, and I'm like, no, fuck off, get out of here. Oh my god, getting a new A system quotes. Oh, AC fixed, ow, my wallet. I am so sorry. I am actually so fucking sorry. We recently had to get ours replaced, and it was fucking annoying. Imagine following Wizard of the Coast rules. Yeah, no, fuck that. It's dumb. So what I did was basically, I will be going over what I've done first, but no one fucking reads that shit. You know what I did? I went through it and actually tried to read all that shit, and I'm like, oh, 2014. Okay. It came out summer of 2014. I remember that, because we got the black and white PDF, and we were like, oh, this is cool. And then we printed out the class that we wanted, and the race that we wanted, and then we just kept that on us. I was a druid, actually. I think my first 5e character I'd ever made was a druid, and then he ran away because he got sad. He was an Azamar druid, and someone nuked a town, and then he wanted to fuck off and leave the party, and I'm like, well, I guess I don't have a character now. Oh, wait, no, I made a bard before that. That's right, Verezi. But then I made an Azamar, and he fucking ran for the hills. I was a DM once, and my players at level 3 tried fighting a water elemental that was supposed to be a small background hint. Yeah, players be wildin' sometimes. We do the stupidest shit, because it's not like we know what the hints and clues are. So we'll do some stupid shit. It just sounds like dungeon meshy. But yeah, 5e was fun for what it was, but it is now a 10-year-old game. Oh no, Sudden Moon! Knock him off! Flick him off! Get him out of here! Put that man in jail. Rip, son. Yeah, Sudden Moon got. But yeah, it's really old, it's feeling old, and to their credit, they are updating it now. However, it is way past the point of me giving a fuck about the game, because over these last few years, Wizards of the Coast has been making the stupidest fucking decisions I've ever seen, thanks in part probably to Hasbro and their shareholders, but they have been making the stupidest fucking decisions. We already know about the whole open, what is it called? The general license bullshit that they did, that whole scandal, and then they rescinded that, and then they tried to do it again, like, a year later or 2 years later, and then they got caught using AI in some of their concept art, especially for Magic the Gathering. It's just, Wizards of the Coast is fucking up so phenomenally right now, and I don't want to give them any more money. So I'm not going to. And at this point, every product that they've ever made has just this sour taste in my mouth. I don't like it. Not to mention, D&D has always been kind of rigid for the way I've wanted to run my games anyway. I've always tried to run my custom homebrew games as a more classless, like, it didn't work. I homebrewed a lot. And the last time I tried to run a campaign, I tried to homebrew it, and it just didn't work out. A couple of players were new, and it felt like they wanted the classic D&D, like, class experience, and I'm like, I really don't want to use D&D classes. They don't make sense for my world. But I bent, and I let people just choose regular D&D classes, even though D&D classes don't exist in my campaign, and it just felt off. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm throwing it in the garbage, I'm just making everything from fucking scratch, and then I'll come back. have a fear of spiders and screamed when I discovered it. Oh no, poor baby. They're updating it with stuff they already had in Tasha's. Oh my god, really? So they're just rehashing. That's all I'm hearing. They're just remixing that shit. See, that's I don't care for that. But so my TTRPG that I've started is going to be a sort of D&D slash Pathfinder light with its rules. D&D has the problem of being a wargaming system that people want to use for role-playing. Yeah, that's kind of true. It does put a harder focus on a battle system more than a role-playing one, which is kind of funny because role-play games like this have existed since like the 50s or 60s, and they were just pure roleplay. Like in the very beginning, they had like 10 to 15 different stats, which is actually where the comeliness stat comes from in old D&D, because it's comeliness is like what you look like. It's like how good you look, like face and clothes wise, and that was later added to charisma, but. Yeah, it was like almost pure roleplay. You were playing as nobility, trying to do political intrigue. That was like one of the first TTRPGs in the 50s and 60s that ever existed. And it's really fucking cool. And then Gary Gygax said, but what if we added taxes to it? But what if I did it with Tolkien? I love Lord of the Rings, and now we have D&D, but... yeah, I also want to lean back more into more roleplay. I love roleplaying. It's always been one of my favorite fucking things to do. As much as I love combat, don't get me wrong, there are encounters that will happen inevitably. But it's not going to always be so black and white, I don't think. At least that's how I want to run it. I want it to be more nuanced. I don't want people to feel like, oh fuck, okay, we'll have to just drudge through this combat encounter so we can get experience. It's like that. I don't want that. Yeah, it's hilarious because their flying combat and water combat are trash. So for something that focuses on combat, it makes it hard to do anything else besides land. True. I will say Leon has done some phenomenal work with air and water combat in his previous campaigns, and that's because he's not a fucking shithead. He doesn't use the D&D rules, he uses his own custom house rules whenever he makes his campaigns. And nowadays, with Vandalt, his custom TTRPG, it's based off of Final Fantasy IV. So, in, like, the old Final Fantasies, the new Final Fantasies obviously won't work for this, but... Wait, did I just click Steam on accident? Steam, no! Go away! I don't want you here! Hold on, I gotta close out Steam. Here we go. Sorry for rehashing this, but it seems like the scammer who took my account is now messaging people on Discord. So if you get any messages, of course, Arson, we'll let you know if something's happening. If something happens with your account on our Discord, like I said, we'll temporarily mute you until you can figure out how to do it. Until you get your account back. And thank you for the 10 biddies. Thank you for beating me up with 10 biddies. But yeah, I will continually gush about Vandalt because I love it. But his is based off of the Final Fantasy, like, turn-based fighting system, where you have a front row, like, let's say over here's your enemies, over here's your team. You have a front row and a back row here, and a front row and a back row here. The front rows are your melees that are clashing. Your back rows are your archers and your mages and your ranges that are shooting over the front row. It's Final Fantasy. If you've ever played the old games, you'll know what that is. You can move your characters from the front to the back. It's fucking good. And I love it, and it's a fun fucking system. Fun fact, I'm also working with a group on our own system, though things have slowed down since the main person behind it has been dealing with a lot. That's fair. Also, yeah, Arson, I hope you get your account back soon, because I'm sure this shit's annoying. I won't be able to get my account back, so it's gone forever, but I've made a new one. Understood. I'm sorry about that, dude. That happened to Leon, too. He lost his old one, but he just said fuck it and made a new one. I don't think it was lost to a bot. It was lost to his authenticator on his phone. His phone had, like, blown up, and he's like, oh, fuck. But his authenticator for his Discord was on that old phone. So he was like, well, I guess I can't get on my Discord anymore. But it's fine. I have an itch. But yeah, so what I've been doing with my TTRPG is I've been looking over some rules for different TTRPGs, and putting down what I like, tossing what I don't like. And I've been basing it off of 2 games specifically because they have the most stuff in it that I want. Dark Souls and Skyrim. Specifically Elder Scrolls, but Skyrim technically because of the 1, they are classless. 2, Skyrim has a what is it called? A skill tree system. I want a skill tree system. It's not going to be super complex, but there's going to be enough for people to... Dark Scrolls. Yeah, Dark Scrolls. D&D is complete. Oh, my friend's DMV. What? Good fun news. The new system for my Dungeon and Friends D&D is complete. I hope that's what you said. And nice. I'm glad it's done. But yeah, Dark Souls and Skyrim both sport a classless system where you choose what you wear and you choose what you fight with, and then you just go about it. What, babe? RuneScape, too. That's true. RuneScape does the same thing. So that's what I'm doing with mine. I don't like classes. Classes have always pissed me off. They're too rigid. I'm like, can I choose what I want to do, please, instead of just, you know, all this shit? So that's what I'm going to be doing with my stuff. Alright. So we're going to hop on over here. Hold on, let me boot this up. I'm also going to be in VIB. Just because I want people who would like to join or people who have joined and are still interested in the campaign, even though it's going... Ow! Hi, Jacko! Hi, Jacko! Thank you for the sub for 30 months. Leon, why'd you give Jacko back the fucking sword? Get fucking beamed, nerd! God, I got fucking domed, dude! It is. Dungeon and Friends is an abridged version of D&D that I've made for streamers and beginners. It's based off of Kids on Bikes. Oh, Kids on Bikes! I like Kids on Bikes. And Kids on Brooms. It's really fun already, people playing their first campaign. Cute! Another fun fact, for those who got into the project early, we get a character we can insert into the canon of the world. Oh, that's awesome. This one got sniped. Got bonked, dude. How are you, Jacko? It's so good to see you out of the tube. I've had this idea of... Ow! Medic! Oh my god. Medic, you son of a bitch. Thank you for the gifted, not the gifted. Thank you for the sub for 30 months, and thank you for the hype train. We are now choo-choo. But Lillian says, card-based TTRPG inspired by games like Slay the Spire. Someday I'll have time to actually write out the rules. That is fair. I'm looking for new players if you're interested. I'm currently in a campaign, and I like to focus on just one at a time, especially since I'm writing for my own, but thank you for the offer. Choo-choo! I can only imagine someone taking someone's D&D campaign and then them and some friends fucking abridge that shit. Yeah. Sometimes you have to abridge something to make it better. Because, like I said, D&D is good for what it was, but, like, it's seen its age, and they are cleaning it up now. Good for them, but I'm way past the point of giving a single fuck what they're doing. I don't even know what the new changes or shit is, because I just don't care. And if someone tries to explain it to me, I'm gonna say, I don't care. Like, I don't. D&D has a lot of crunchy numbers, and there's nothing wrong with crunchy D&D, but a lot of new players are intimidated by those crunchy numbers. That is true. Thank you for the big pad, Laros. The way Dungeons and Friends works is simple D&D versus, simple D20 versus D20. Yeah, it's all contests. That's what Leon said. I've shrunk my numbers down as well, but we'll be going into that in a moment. So, let's hop bug. Did I get it? I can't tell. Okay. We're gonna go over here. Oh, look at that pretty second monitor. Look how pretty this is. I love this monitor. Okay. I'm going to pull out my website. I've shown this to you guys before, and just to let you know, there are pictures on this website that I do not own. Another artist has drawn them that I've scooped up from either DeviantArt or Pinterest or something. That is because I am not here to draw every single fucking thing. This website is for private sessions only. So everything you see on here, some of it I do not draw. I'll let you know if I have drawn it, but just assume I did not, because I'm not here to, like, sell this website as a product. This is strictly for archival keeping and reference looking, like for referencing. Nothing else. I will not claim to own the art of these different artists. If I have the name of them, I haven't put it down because, once again, this was a private website for my players. And it will remain private until I can get, like, better art. Or, like, more official art, if that makes sense. You're making your character have 4 abilities, each costing a certain amount of your spell slots. You have 14 spell slots. First 2 costs and are considered your light attacks. The second one costs 4 and is considered your medium. And then you have what I deem the Kameha, which costs 6. This looks like a palace in Persona. Kinda, yeah, it's really pretty. Do you know what it is? I can tell you guys what it is. It's really pretty. It's a really pretty, like, void castle in Final Fantasy XIV. And I love it. Okay, but first let me pull up my character sheet as well. Oh, okay, there it goes. Void castle. Voidsel. Voidsel! Okay, so everything has been pulled up. I'm gonna bring this down. There we go. I'm trying to make this, like, fit a little better. Oh, come on. Come on, you slut. Okay. So, this is the website that I've been working on. It has everything up here that you'd need. It's not showing. There we go. Everything up here. So far, at least. Oh. Oh, come on. I'm trying to turn on my tablet so I can see what I'm doing. Because my tablet is the second monitor, specifically. Oh, come on. Work for me. Nope. It's not turning on. I have an idea. Don't mind me. I've been really conflicted a little, honestly, because it's a great tool sometimes, but at the same time, I don't have the money to pay for official artwork. Bad tablet. Yeah, bad tablet. Hold on. However, I do know a fact as I turn into a real game and sell it like starter packs, I want to commission the actual art from an actual artist. Which is fair. As an artist, I want all my shit to be drawn by me, but I am not that skilled. I can't go that hard. Sorry, I'm just wrestling with my cord for a minute. Really? Yeah, it's not booting up. This is annoying me. Come on. Oh, I was pushing the wrong button. I was pushing the light desaturation button. I think it's okay for DMs to use AI art to help create the world, at least for reference. No, because AI art literally uses... literally, the algorithm to even make AI art and to train the algorithm is literally killing the power grid. As long as it's used for private situations, taking AI art or art that already exists for, like I said, privacy, sure. But actually generating it, apparently that's killing our power. So, no. Come on. Also, it depends on if you're doing it for free or not, because if you're using, like, Midjourney, for instance, I think Midjourney is a pay-to-use service. That's also probably a big no-no. I did not hear about this. Is this real? It is from what articles I've read. Oh my gosh, it's real, yeah. I'm still fighting my tablet, don't mind me. I might need a new cable. This shit is annoying me. 5 years ago. That's old. Okay. My tablet is now on, after twisting the cable around for a while. The training model is very intensive, yeah. Using them isn't particularly, but getting enough data in a morally okay way is difficult, as someone who has tried to do it. Yeah. Oh, thank you, baby. Watch it not fucking work, because it's the bullshit prongs in here. I'm gonna be mad if that's the case. Okay. So, we got my tablet running. And like I said, all the art on here, I have gotten off of the internet. This is not something I'm trying to say I own. This website is purely private. Do not worry about it. I'm giving examples. The next campaign is going to be on an airship cargo, and they're going to have to defend them. I found a reference in D&D book that I took a picture of, but it doesn't quite fit the theme. But I don't have the time to draw on myself or commission one. That's fair. But you're also not guaranteed AI to actually generate you something that will work either. Ugh. Alright. Now that everything is squared away, we're gonna go over the stuff that I do have down so that I can go over what I need done, because I really want to get this off the ground. I want to get this fixed. So, basically the premise of the world is that it is made up of a very small, I want to say Europe, maybe a little smaller sized continent that is attached to a much larger unknown continent that no one has really tried to cross before, and that is because of, one, there is a huge mountain range acting as a natural border point, but also there's been developments. Hot take is a forever DM. You don't need art for every single location your players interact with. Describe it and let them use their imagination. True. Theater of the mind is one of the most powerful tools you can have. In fact, we theater of the mind most of our shit. Especially in Leon's campaign. We don't fucking have art for that shit. Knowing about the whole power grid thing, I guess it kind of settles it. Do I value the environment more than I value a game? Fair. But basically, the premise of this, I love Theater of the Mind. The issue is having a player who really struggles with Theater of the Mind. Oh, there is such a thing as aphantasia. So, I make a map, tell most of where you are, and what you see. That's what sent me down this whole rabbit hole to begin with. Which, once again, fair, but... Ugh, gross. There are tools out there to let you do that, though. You could make a map in any map you want in 10 minutes or less in fucking Incarnate, for instance. Incarnate, I will swear by over and over. Not sponsored, it's just a really good fucking website. Ugh. So, once again, the premise of this place is, like I said, you have this tiny little zone that everyone is packed in. Tensions are a little rough. There are alliances, but alliances are as flimsy as anything else. And then suddenly there is a giant fucking earthquake. Right here I write, let's see. The realm of Eldrick is an ancient land with ancient secrets, buried away for thousands of years, with its denizens none the wiser to its past. However, these secrets have been uprooted and unearthed due to the misfortune of a continent-rupturing earthquake that shook all civilizations living there, displacing its peoples. Now there are gargantuan creatures, simply referred to as titans, showing up from the east of the land, past the giant walls that is the mountain range that's kept its civilizations safe until now, which is what I was talking about, the mountains. This is genuinely why I think your channel is fantastic. There's always something to learn, something to— oh, I didn't think of it. Thank you. I didn't know you were absolutely one of the best channels you are, so you're very sweet. Thank you. You're being very kind to me. Boop. I'm just a dork on the internet who happens to know a lot about the most random asinine shit you could ever hope to know. Technically this would be a just chatting, wouldn't it? I should probably switch it from art to just chatting. I'm used to going to art because I'm always drawing, but I say we're just chatting. We're not really drawing art. Yeah. There we go. But, let's see, and then I'd say a little hook. Will you not take up the cause to help your people, or even take up arms against these hulking monstrosities and take the title of Titan Slayer? Thank you for the sip. So basically, the premise that I've set up is you are living in this tiny little zone, and suddenly your entire life has been uprooted. Whatever the fuck you were doing now, everything is now gone to shit. There are fissures, there are holes opening up, there are earthquakes and rock slides. Your map is getting fucked up. Me when I decide to fuck the Titans. Lily, you can fuck the Titans. There are such a thing as half Titan breeds. I'm not even gonna fucking hide that. Now I will say a lot of the stuff in my Eldrig, which is what I call it, Eldrig, TTRPG, is actually a lot of like holdover stuff that I've taken from my old world called Kana. Titans existed in Kana, but in Kana there was only 2 left, and they were causing bullshit. In here, it sounds like there's a lot more. So, that's gonna be fun to explore. And then down here, getting started. There's categories in the navigation, which is up here, to tell you how to do stuff. There are also categories that will help you set up your character. And then here's a link to the character sheet if you're on the actual website, not on the edit the website like I am. If you have your character sheet copy, oh yeah, it's basically explaining how to copy your character sheet. Flip through each of the page. There's multiple pages. I can come over here real quick. I have about 5 pages for everyone's needs, and then a 6th page for consent sheet. We can go over that in a minute. Oop, there we go. Let me fix this real quick. Because I keep clipping the edge here. There we go. Okay. So, that's where the character sheet is. So, I would expect someone to boot up their character sheet and be like, cool, I have my character sheet, I'm gonna figure out how to play. This is just the homepage. How to play. You can't click this, but it will drop down the menus for you. And game rules. Once again, it's D&D slash Pathfinder Light. Basically, I explain how shit works. I took this as an approach of, if this person just doesn't know tabletop RPGs at all, I go over how it works. Basically, improv. And also, I've called the GM the narrator. You're a narrator in this game. But you can also just be the GM, the game master. But basically, I go over how it works. We all are here, we know what the fuck we're doing. Your GM tells you what you see, what your characters do, where they are, you know, what the situation is. And then you say what you're gonna do. And then they tell you how that goes. I like the narrator. Yeah, you're the narrator. Dice, it's a die 20 system, obviously. D4 through D12 for weapon checks. And D100 is for percentage counting, as well as loot rolls, if you happen to find something like that. The D20 is for skill checks. There are no combat checks, and I will explain why here soon. And then I wrote down, of course, if you need a D3 for some reason, you can just flip a D6 and do the whole 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is a 1, 5 is a 2, 6 is a 3, that fun stuff. If you need a die 2, just flip a fucking coin, or flip a d4, 1, 2, and then 3 is a 1, 4 is a 2. We know how that goes. But here I explain, let's see, if you're rolling for skill check, you just use modifiers. In D&D, they do this fun little thing that's actually really fucking annoying and I hate it, where you take points, these ability scores of, I believe the score is 16, 14, 13, 11, 10, 8. I think that's the standard array. And you assign it. What if I need a D7? You don't need a D7, Lillian. D7s don't exist. That's silly. Alternatively, you could roll I don't know. I can't help you with that. But, yeah, they take these stupid numbers that you allocate to your stats, and then those numbers show you what your actual modifier is. So if it's a 16, it's a +3. If it's a 14, it's a +2. It's fucking stupid. I ripped that the fuck out, and I'm like, no, we're just doing modifiers. You either have a +1 or nothing. Like, no. You don't have a 12 meaning it's a +1. That's stupid. We're not doing that. So that's what I'm saying here. In order to get your result, add the number. Basically, it's telling you how to get your rolls. We already know that as well. Oh, hey, I'm gonna do a skill check for, I don't know, acrobatics. And you're like, fucking roll it. And you're like, I have +2 acrobatics. Bloop. And then you get your roll. So here I say weapon dice are only rolled for when directly using your weapons on a target. So, d20s are not used to see if you hit. You only roll your weapon dice, 1 through 12. Can you be a silly character like a kobold obsessed with gummy worms? Kobolds don't exist in this world, so no, I'm sorry. Yeah, not so easy, huh? Sorry. But yeah, kobolds don't exist here, I'm sorry. I will be getting into the races that do exist, because I had a lot of fun making them. But yeah, the way weapons work in this is you just roll a die. Whatever your weapon is, let's say I'm using 2 daggers, and I'm proficient- No kobolds! No, then they come back! Let's say you're proficient in holding 2 daggers, you're proficient in dual wielding because you upped yourself up that skill tree, so you get to roll a 2 die 4. But let's say your opponent has an armor of 7. Because armor can go up exponentially higher than in D&D. And 7 may not sound like a lot, but that's because I'm not doing a base 10 system. In D&D, they like to do this, I think Pathfinder does it too, where they take base 10 and they're like, there's your base 10. Alright, now the rest of your armor, add to it. So if you're wearing like plate, you get +3 or 4. You would have 13 armor, 14 armor, something like that. That's not how it works here. You don't have that. You just have standard numbers. So if you find a piece of leather and it's a +2 armor and you put it on, you have +2 armor. That's it. You don't get that base 10. But you're also not rolling a d20 to try and surpass that base 10 plus armor. You're just rolling for your weapons. So once again, I'm fighting someone with 7 armor. I have 2 daggers and it's 1 die 8. Let's say I roll a 6, and let's say my speed, which is what I'm adding to it, is +3. I roll 9 in turn. I hit his 7 armor, it negates 7 of my damage, I deal 2 damage to him. Think of it kind of like a card game. Whatever I'm negating, that goes away, and whatever I hit past the armor number is how much damage I deal. So, no d20s for hitting. And if you roll below the armor point, you just fucking whiff it. You either clash against the armor, and if it's too low a roll, you just straight up miss. So that's how I approach fighting and combat. So I'm going to have to work with the numbers, though. I want to make sure that's balanced. I want to make sure people's armor and people's weapons are on par so that they don't overexceed each other or, like, kill each other enough. Sounds crunchy? I don't know what that means. I hope that's a good thing. I could use a smaller example. I have a dagger that does 1 die 4, and I have a speed of 1. In a good way. Oh, good. And the dude I'm fighting has 3 armor. I roll 3 on my die 4, and I'm like, damn, I don't get through. But that 1 extra speed gives me an extra damage. I'm doing 4 damage instead. So I boop them for a damage. And yes, people's health will be lower, and will go up slower as well. So, rules focused, chewy, flavor focused. Ah, I see. Hi Pats, welcome in. We're doing good. We're just going over my TTRPG rules. Because it's fine. So yeah, there's not really any contests when it comes to, there are contests, but there's not really any roll to hit when it comes to weapons. There is advantage and disadvantage, obviously. There's going to be stuff you're really good at, and there's going to be stuff you're really bad at. So, you know, if you roll real shit, and then you roll real good, and you have advantage on it, you take the good one. When it's going to be available for the public. When it's done, I guess, and also when I have my own art for it, because it does not have my art. a good amount of it doesn't, at least. And then, of course, other situations, I explain that there's going to be something where I ask for a roll without a prompt or attempted interaction from the player. Basically, it's your whole, hey, give me a perception check. And you're like, why am I rolling for a perception check? You know, it's a sudden, hey, give me this, because there's a passive thing happening nearby. It's considered a passive roll for what's happening to them, thanks to the environment, or perhaps from something they may not even see yet. That's a situation. Contests also occur, such as a player rolling a deception against an NPC who can in turn contest it with an insight. Yes, I do still have deception and insight, but I have added my own new skills, and I have ripped out a lot of old skills. Oh, I'm really a perception check. You better pass to find out. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe roll high and figure it out, forehead. And I've also added something called Helping Hand. I stole this from Brennan, by the way. Brennan Lee Mulligan, he's great. You can aid each other in skill checks. Basically, you can give someone a free advantage. If you know you're probably gonna roll shit on like a... because it's different from a, what's it called? I said those exact words as a DM. Excellent. So, Helping Hand is not a... The way I interpret it, it's not a I'm rolling with you check, because you can do that, where it's like, I'm rolling strength to move this boulder, and then someone goes, I want to help, and then you guys roll together to add your number. This is you going, hey, I'm gonna help, and give that person an advantage check, because you trust their skills on it a little better. Yeah, it gives you a free advantage roll. Sometimes a group roll is needed, and if half or more pass, then the roll succeeds. I wanted to ask you about something, of course. But yeah, I do have, there's group rolls in this game as well. But it has to do with my perception's 4. That's crazy. So next, ability scores. I do keep the name of what they're called because it's just easier for people to know what they are. I'm not going to rename a whole lot of stuff. But yeah, ask away, Pats. I'm very curious. But I do call them ability scores because it's what everyone else calls them. So ability scores, we all should know what these are. Can't wait to subject people to Vand. Subject me! Subject me! But hey babe, wouldn't it be so freaking cool if you like streamed a one-off for Vandal and then play with us? Ha 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 ha. And then make me play. I still don't know what character I'd add. I have so many, help me. Or you could pick up you could stream a session of me, Wewin, and Mebdink. If they're okay with it. Because that's just fun. I would love to do a campaign, a TTRPG campaign on stream one day. Anyone stream. I don't care. Take me. Get me on. Take me. But yeah, the way an ability score works, it's your stats. In D&D and Pathfinder and every single fucking TTRPG known to man. These are your main abilities. Yeah, I've put down 6 just like the others. It's fantastic, you definitely should. It's a great time. I want to, it'd be so fun. But here I explain how it works, just in case people don't know what it is. And I say that your ability scores start at -1, and you allocate 10 points to each of these stats. That came out stupid. Basically, you start at -1, and you have 10 points to add to one of them, up to a max of 5. So if you want, let's say, your strength modifier... Oh, hi, babe. Hi. Ow!
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Your teeth are so sharp!
So sorry. I was gonna just like nibble your head, baby.
He bit my head.
I'm so sorry.
Hi, sweetheart.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to fucking bite you for real.
Guys, I got chomped by the horse.
I'm sorry. I slipped when I was trying to grab you, and then I gomped your skull off.
Chew the bad. No, don't chew me.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, hon. But, yeah, Leon leaned in to try and give me a little nibble. Some real Saturn consumes his children vibes. Nah, he, oh,
Oh, Sizzle in the bed.
Yeah, he tried to lean in and give me a little nibble, but he keeps forgetting his teeth are literal razors, and he just conk.
Love you, sweetie.
He's so cute. Hi, Sugar Skull. Welcome in. I got bit on the head. I don't care when it will happen, but sometime in the future I might need some TTRPG related advice. Would it be okay if I went to you for some advice? I don't know how much I'll be helpful, but sure. I will try my best. God, my forehead hurts. Alright. So, what was I saying earlier? Right, if you want your strength, for example, to be like +5 out the gate, you can, but you will be allocating, let's see, 7 points to do so. You will have 3 points to put in any other stat, but that's your choice. The thing with D&D and Pathfinder and other games that do this dumb shit is like, oh, we're limiting you to just this. But the fun thing about custom adding points is that you can do some silly fucking shit if you want. If I want my strength to be +5 and everything else to either be a 0, what they... Cat? Go check my wallet. It should be on my... Yeah, should be on my thing. Because I think I have like 12 bucks, something like that. Yeah, just grab a bit. I don't know what you need it for, but take it. Leon stole my money. He ran away and scootalooted like a goblin out of the bedroom. Small price to pay for literally putting my entire party on my back. Yeah, literally! That's the thing. If people want to do that, who am I to fucking stop them? I'm not gonna force people into this little constrained box of allocation of, like, an array. Fuck that! If you want to make yourself 5 strength, and then have, like, 1 point and 3 others to make it 0, and the other 2 are -1, that's your fucking... That's you! You're allowed. You will hit real fucking hard, but you will be dumb everywhere else. You are a himbo. I am allowing you to live. Think about the amount of gummy worms you can get with that strength. I can pick up and hug all of my friends at the same time! Literally! So, yeah, if you want to do that, you can. I will expect people to probably be like, okay, I don't want this to be -1, so I'll make this a 0. I'll make this one 2. So I'm going to add 4 points to that. I expect people to be nerds about it, obviously. But if you want to do that, it's going to be funny. So, the 6 ability scores that I have. Obviously, there is strength. It's your physical power, and it also determines your armor score. So, a fun fact, all these do something with your character sheet, and while we're going over this, I'm going to go over it with you. These first 2 rows, your appearance and your, like, class and all that stuff up here, don't worry about that. That's coming later. We're going to come down here. So here's your strength, reflex, vitality, knowledge, charisma, and willpower. And then the 3 stats that are allocated to it, basically. Your armor is red on the sheet because it is attached to strength. If I were to change my strength to a 2, fun fact, I coded all of this to do this. Your armor changes to a 2. If you're wearing another armor piece with like a 4 on it, let's go to the equipment. Let's say I am wearing an armor piece that has 4 on it. And I come over here. It did not change it.
No, it's supposed to. What the fuck?
Why didn't it change it? Armor bonus. Hold on. Let me figure out why my numbers are not working. Oh, it's probably because I haven't worked on that side yet. That's okay. But yeah, let's go back to -1 for now, and it should change to -1. So all of these little numbers, if they are colored like this, it means you don't need to write anything in it. If it's gray, it means you're gonna write something in it. See? So we'll go over all that in a minute. Going back here. Since we're talking about armor, this is a DM question. How do you decide on what magical items year and things like that should be in your game, I simply have a deck of natural items that I drove randomly from. I would probably be using a, what is it called? A wheel. I'd probably set up a loot table and then use a wheel for it. Because wheels are just easy. Oh my god, your Neopets came in. Wait, what did you need the cash for? I'm confused. Oh, you could keep it. I just... okay. Leon confused me. But, yeah, I would use a wheel. Because, like, what is it called? Oh, where do you get your inspiration for your items to play? It should get. Opening the box. Hey! You're supposed to open the boxes on stream later. No. You stop it. You stop that. Oh, the starter decks you don't have to open. But no, you stop that. How do I do it? I'm sorry, I'm very sick and I think the voice chat is messing up. No, you're okay, Arson. So, where do I get my inspiration for the items that the characters get? For me, I look at the world in the context of the items, I guess. And I also consider what my players are and what they would probably need the most, I guess. And I would put down the most appropriate items, like... for instance, in this world, the way magic works is it's a runic mathematical thing. In order to use magic, you have to speak the actual words of this magic system and either mentally or on a piece of paper, read and know the symbols that each sound correspond to. It's a language. And if you fuck up, it doesn't work. It just fizzles out. But you can transfer that onto items. So for magic items, you just say the word and it boop, or even still, it can be...
Oh, thank you for the snack, Jackal.
I'll get a little nibble. So in order for me to make magic items, I'm just like, okay, this is how it works, so this is how I'm going to... this is what the magic system allows to happen for each of the pieces. And then I look at my actual group and I'm like, what would you guys benefit from the most? And then I put that on a little wheel, a little loot roll, or a loot roll, that's true. I could either do a wheel or a loot roll. And then they get whatever piece they want. If they get a piece that isn't for them, but they know a party member could use, or maybe an NPC that they like a lot, they could give it to them. Because God knows I have dumped so many items on Gangler in Vandalt. Because NPCs in Vandalt can become your party members under special circumstances. That's clever.
Oh, thank you.
But that's usually how I approach it.
Are you nibbling?
You're cute. I'm just having a gush at my husband, I'm sorry. Alright, so back to the ability scores. The actual stats of what they mean. Like I said, your strength is your physical power, how hard you can hit, as well as what your armor score is, how hard you can get hit. Now that is different from vitality, and I'll explain how. Reflex is how quick you are, obviously, how fast you're going to move, and it also determines your speed score. The way D&D works is they take into account how fast you are because of your race or what your size is sometimes. But the standard is like 30 feet per turn or whatever for combat encounters. For these guys, it determines what your race is, mostly by your height because of how fast you can move. Unless you're a specific race built for moving very quickly, like the Gobel, for instance, they are very fast little bunnies. But Reflex also adds to your speed score. If you have a 1 in Reflex, you get +5 speed. You get +5 feet. So if you have 5 Reflex, for instance, you get 25 extra feet of running around. And it also explains your physical speed. So if you're an archer, pew, 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 you're fast as fuck. Or like I guess a quote-unquote monk, for a better term. There aren't monks in this, because monk in the D&D world is basically just... It's based off of wuxia movies, and I don't really care for cultural appropriation, I guess. I don't know, it feels weird, because my world doesn't have that shit. My world doesn't have the concept of a wuxia. So, I don't fucking do that. Same thing with druids. Druids don't fucking exist here. There is no concept of a pagan priest that gets high on mushrooms in the woods. Or whatever the fuck they did. I don't know what druids did. What did my people do? What did the Celts do? I don't remember. But anyway, you guys get the idea. That's one of the reasons why the class system bugged the shit out of me. I'm like, all of these words are so fucking dumb. But back to this. Vitality is your physical health. It's not how hard you can get hit, but it's how hard you can endure internal shit. Strength is your armor. Vitality is how many points you got before you go down. And I will be talking about what happens when you go down. You don't have... What's it called? You don't die automatically, and you don't have death saving throws. You're just unconscious. Vampire Prince! Da 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 ba ba da ba ba da ba da 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 da. Hello everybody, welcome in. Thank you for the shout-outs for the Vampire Prince. Let's look at him real quick. Look at that cutie. Whoa, what game is that? Oh, it's Alice! That's right, it's Alice Madness Returns. I just saw the bubble. I love that power in Alice Madness Returns. Just the little hiccups are really cute.
Oh, I can't get big. Oh, okay. He's
Vampire Prince is so
For those
precious.
who are just listening, the Hatter is currently T-posing.
Nice.
I swear, I don't
She's so cute.
Not the first game.
But welcome in everybody! It's Alice and Mad Hatter's broken and T-posing. Oh, is he?
Bisecting his wrist. He's not touching the floor either.
Oh, he is. The man was broken. But welcome in everybody. Hello, hello. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Desmond Dracula. I'm a vampire bat butler, also known as a battler. I go by he, him pronouns, and I like to draw as well as roll build on Wednesdays. I also play a variety of games for RPGs to roguelikes. And, how was Hades? I was watching you play it earlier, but I was basically lurking because I was setting up for this stuff, but I was like, I'm gonna watch you cry over your husband. I was tempted to go into chat and be like, no, our husband, but I was like, it's like 2 seconds until I have to stream, so. Time to switch mobile. Twitch for making food. Hey, get some food. Exposing me. Hey, I exposed myself too. Thanatos is great. I'm assuming it's Thanatos. It better be Thanatos. I love him. He's a good boy. Do you want to open it? You can open it, honey. I don't give a shit.
I can't.
Okay. Leon just got Neopets cards, and he's very itching to open the cards, but he wants to stream opening it later. I mean, that's good, and he did come and save me, but... But... Why are we butting? My Hades husband is Aries? Aww! That's cute! Aries is great. He's just a dude. He's just a dude, bro, that just wants to chill and be like, hey, dude, you did good. I'm like, thanks. Thanks, Aries. He's really cool looking. I'm not gonna lie. Let me wrap up my Cheetos, because I got snack-eat earlier, and I don't want them going stale before I eat the next one. But welcome in everyone who doesn't know what's going on here. It is World Building Wednesdays, and I am technically going over my own TTRPG that I've been working on for the past... I don't know, the past 8 months. Hi, Julia. Doing the dance. I love my emotes. But we were just explaining what the ability scores do. And if none of you are familiar with TTRPGs, that is okay. I will go over it if you have any questions on what I'm talking about. I do not mind stopping and answering questions. So yeah, Vitality, like I said, that's your hit point score. How many times you can get bonked before you pass out. And yes, you pass out. You don't die, and you don't have... what's it called? You don't have to panic about doing saving throws to not die. Because in, I believe, D&D and Pathfinder, once you're down, you have to start doing saving throws to see if you get up and you're at 1 HP again, or if you fail completely, you die. You just straight up die. And that's a stupid-ass system. So you don't do that, you just pass out. But you are still vulnerable to attack, and you are still vulnerable to status effects. Meaning if you got put down, and you passed out, and you were poisoned at the time, that poison will continue to tick. And once it gets to double your vitality score, that's when you die. Every time I drop into a Wednesday, there's so much to do. You're doing so much work, it's amazing. Ah, thank you! Yeah, we actually finished my bugs. We finished the Kolbesh. I can't really think of anything else to do with them, especially since I'm not, like, actively using them for anything. So I'm just like, I'll put them on pause for now. I've covered enough for me to worry, you know, for me to not worry about them being pretty fleshed out. If I were to, like, put them in something, they would stand up on their own for a while. So I consider them done, my little buggos. They can chill in the corner until I'm ready to use them again. So next is knowledge. This is your mental power. It's like your strength, but for your mind. It's how hard you can focus on shit as well, which you need focus if you want to actually use spells. So we all know what the mana system is, the magicka system, spell point system, whatever. MP from Dark Souls, magicka in Skyrim. That is your focus score. It's your mana. If you have a focus score of 10, you can only use 10 focus until you're completely kaput and you no longer can use spells for that day. That's just how it works. And your mental power is just how hard you can hit with a spell. It's how hard you can focus on that. Charisma is fun. It is your mental speed. Reflex is your physical speed. How fast you can shoot. Charisma is how fast you can say shit. Yes, it helps with your you're talking with other people, but it gives to your cant score, which as in like incantation or canting. Your cant score is how many spells you can shoot out of your mouth in a single turn. So if you have a spell that you want to use and it has a cant score of 1, you have a cant score of 3. You can use it 3 times in your turn if you would wish. Granted, having a cant score is pretty high, but it's a lot of fun. Also, there are some spells that have a cant of 2 or a cant of 3, maybe even a cant of 4 or 5 or 6. But that's why you need to up your charisma. Willpower. This is your final ability, and it is your vitality, but for your brain. It determines your sanity score. There are creatures in this world, called Titans, that will fuck you up mentally. They don't just go after your hit points, they go after your brain too. And some of them are a little incomprehensible. Think Eldritch Horror. It's just, I'm going light Eldritch Horror with this. And if you don't have a very high willpower, you're gonna start suffering through some detriments. What if I don't have a brain? Then how are you functioning? How do you work? You still have willpower. Alright, so after that we have our skills for skill checks. Now, just because they're associated...
Hello there.
Aw, hello, Apple Pop.
Welcome in. Hope you're doing okay. Welcome to the Back Cafe. Please take a seat, enjoy your stay, and enjoy some tea while you're at it. Since you are a little new here, I'm just gonna let you know we're making a TTRPG, kind of like D&D or Pathfinder or Vampire the Masquerade or GURPS, you know, all that shit. But yeah. You have skill checks, and they're associated with the ability scores, but you don't have to roll them in tandem with it. For instance, this is one of my favorite examples of how to use it. In D&D, you have a proficiency score, which determines what you roll it for. In this, you just roll it with an ability score. So if I want to weightlift something, and I want to use my strength to do it, I roll my strength. Let's say I have a strength of 2 and a weightlifting of 1, because these skills don't go up at the same time as your ability scores. They're their own separate thing. But you just add your score to it. So, I have a strength of 2, weightlifting of 1. That's a +3 to my roll. But what if I wanted to intimidate someone with my big bulging muscles instead, and convince them to do something I want. Let's say I have a persuasion of 1 for some reason, and let's say my strength is 3. I add my strength to my persuasion, and I have a +4 to intimidate them with my body. Like, you can actually click and combine them. Some will work wonders together, some will not. But that's just the beauty of trying to figure out how to, like, mix and match these to fit your, I guess, your, whatever the situation calls for. And that is up to the player, and if the player says it and the narrator or the GM is like, yeah, let's try that. Try it. I want to see what happens. Let's say you have a reflex in speech. You use a reflex speech, like, roll. You're trying to see how fast you can talk in that moment to try and, like, say shit before someone else says shit. Just something like that. I want to see what happens. It'd be really funny. Now, it would be the most effective to use, let's say, a reflex for sneaking instead of a charisma for sneaking, because that would be really weird and dumb. But if it works in the situation or the context of what you're doing, I would love to see how it would work, because that shit would be funny. It's all about giving these, like, mix and match choices for the players. So, for the skill checks themselves, we have 3 for each category. For strength-based skills, I say based, but, you know, they're loosely based, we have weightlifting, mounting, and throwing. Weightlifting, obviously, you pick up, move, shove giant objects that are heavy. Mounting has to do with holding on to an animal. Can you ride an animal, and can you stay on said animal, especially if it's not tamed? Think Shadow of the Colossus. How hard can you hold on to that fucking giant creature? Because remember, Titans are called Titanic for a reason. How hard can you hold on to your Colossus? Or this untamed animal that you're trying to turn into a mount? Throwing. How hard can you throw something, and how far will it go? And then in the reflex category, we have finesse, which is your pickpocketing, your lockpicking. How well can you move your little dexterous fingies? You have sneaking, obviously. How well can you get past someone without being noticed? How quiet can you be? Acrobatics. How hard can you parkour? Parkour. How well can you jump or what is it called? How hard can you hop up a wall? Like, can you wall jump? That's acrobatics. And then for vitality. Now, in D&D, what is it called? Constitution does not have any fucking ability, any skill check scores, and that kind of bums me out. Here, you have 3 as well. You have endurance. How long can you walk around unfazed by extreme environments? How endurant are you here? There is resistance. How well can you stave off sickness and poisonings? And then survival. How well can you take care of yourself in the wild? How good are you at just figuring out what the fuck to do when you're by yourself in the wilderness?
Think of the peddlers.
As for knowledge, you have the true name system. Now, in D&D, I believe it's called Arcana, but Arcana is not a concept in this world. They are called true names. The magic system in this world is you speaking the true given name, like original given name, of the energy or soul of the object or element that you are talking to. So, for instance, if you want to tell water to move out of the fucking way, let's say you're parting the fucking, I don't know, blue river in front of you. You invoke the word of the water's true name, which is Shalasuri. And then you tell it what to do in the language. You say Shalasuri, whatever. I don't know the words for move out my way. But you can do that. You can tell it to stop. That is a true name. So this is how well do you know the true name? How well can you recall that shit without having to, like, look it up? Are academics. Academics is your knowledge check for things that you could read in a book. You're telling me you can tell it to stop, collaborate, and listen? Yeah. You can, actually, if you know the true names words for those. But academics has to do with information that you've gotten from a book, whether that be some sort of history, maybe like a plant knowledge that you just picked up. It's like, what did you read about this? I don't know, figure it out. And then, of course, you have medicine. Because why the fuck is medicine in goddamn wisdom when it's a knowledge fucking thing? Anyway. Medicine. How well can you tend wounds and apply first aid? Are you a doctor? Did you go to 8 years of legal college of medical college? That's why parents pull out people's government names when they're getting seriously angry. It's kind of like that. Yeah, you are literally using its full name to get its attention. It's like, what? I'm sorry. And then, of course, you have your charisma skills, which is speech. How well can you give a speech? How well can you rouse a crowd? And then, of course, persuasion. How well can you convince someone to do something you want? Also, speech, I believe, also has to do with performance. It just has to do with what you're doing in a crowd. How well can you move the masses? And then, of course, deception. How well can you lie to someone? Can you tell them to go fuck off? Are you able to lie about the 500 gold you stole from that one guy? And of course, willpower. There's 3 more. Insight, having to do with your mind. It has to do with, can you see through that lie? You're like, hey bud, I know you stole that gold, asshole. The Demsmond. Hi Amy, welcome in, I hope you're doing good. Give me just a sec, I need a drink. I haven't talked in a minute. Oh, thank you, Beddick. Yeah, I was feeling my throat getting itchy. I really needed water. Hey, thank you for the stretch. And the eek, 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 eek. Ah, I popped my fingers. What? Beddick, where did you throw me?
They're just a little bat. I'm just a little guy. Eek, 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 eek.
Oh, I'm stretching my shoulder. Don't mind me. Ugh.
Eek. Eek, eek, eek. Eek, 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 eek.
I'm gonna drink a bit more water. Whew. Alrighty. But yeah, perception has to do with you taking in your environment and the little details around it, because obviously you need to be able to perceive that stuff. And of course, deduction. Can you pick up enough clues or context around you to figure out what the fuck happened? And these are all the points, or all the skills you have to worry about. I ripped out a lot of them because they were dumb, and I moved a few of them as well. And then, of course, you have your final 6 abilities that you can see here on the character sheet. And this is just to explain what they do. Armor has to do with incoming damage, what you're blocking. Your speed is how many feet you can travel. Do I see blackjack? Gambling? Send me the fuck up. Sure, if you want to. And then your hit points is how many hit points you have to stay alive. Focus is how many points you need for cast spells. Canting is how quickly you can get a spell out. And sanity is your mental health, to keep you grounded when disturbing imagery comes up for your character. World interaction is next, and it's basically the same thing as your standard moving around TTRPG. Let's see. This is me explaining, like, how you would go about your character. Exploring the realm, how exploration works. How exhaustion works. Because exhaustion is still a thing. You catch exhaustion for... Why is it saying treacherous? Boo. But yeah, exhaustion is still a thing, but it is added for different reasons sometimes. Exhaustion can be added if you're in an extreme environment, depending on what's happening, but it can also happen if you do not have any more rations to add to your I guess your party. So you need to have 1 ration a day for your character, or you will start to become exhausted. You also need to rest at least 6 hours every... Oh wow, sanity, I'll have very little of that. Understood. But yeah, you need to have a rest, and you need to have 1 ration a day. Or you start getting exhausted. Because you are going to be in the wild-ass bumfuck nowhere of the Titanlands, and you're going to suffer if you do not take care of yourself. You are no longer in the nice little happy like, zones of your towns, if you go to the Titanlands, you have to be prepared. You can't go on a Monster Hunter mission and run into the fucking blazing-ass volcano without cool drinks. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Are you opening those? Oh, that's fine. Might as well play as an Eek since Blackjack is involved. Fair. So yeah, that's why I have exhaustion. Also, I explained how vision works. Now, I did remove the whole dark vision thing that, like, every single fucking race seems to have. Only a couple of races have that now, because that shit is annoying that every single race has dark vision. It's like, no, that's not how evolution works. You're just telling, like, the other, like, 3 races that don't have it that they're stupid. But I do explain how it works. Also, you don't have a class, but you do have a background and a profession. Your background and your profession usually go hand in hand, because if you're a nobleman, you're probably going to be doing nobleman-related shit. If you are, let's say, an artisan, and you want to be a cook specifically, that's probably what you are. You're probably just an artisan, your parents were an artisan, because adventurer classes don't exist in this world. The concept of an adventurer has not been needed. Bro wants to be Sanji. You can be Sanji. You can cook something and then beat the fuck out of something else with a giant pan if you want. Close. My shit's not magic. If you're a chef, you don't need magic to beat someone with a frying pan. Desmond. Yes, Amy! What is it? But then I go over how combat encounters work. I also simp over hot women while doing it. Fair. Moveset Ramsey! Yeah. You can scream, "Let's fucking roll!" and then beat him to death with a frying pan. Did I tell you? I don't know, did you? But I basically go over combat as well. I explain how it works, especially since you have so little hit points. Fights are inevitable. Even if combat should be a last resort, fights will happen. Hey! I'm proud of you. You got your home. You got your girl juice. Fuck yeah. Where's my cat? I heard him. I don't want to roll him over. Oh, there he is. I can't believe you got your girl juice. I'm so happy for you. But yeah, the combat is turn-based. It's similar to... Not got it yet. Well, you're gonna get it. I hope. That's what that sounds like. You're gonna get your girl juice. But yeah, the combat is turn-based. Obviously, you can't not have a... You can't not have a turn-based combat system in a fucking tabletop RPG. That's just not how it works. And it goes through rounds based on reflex rolls from highest to lowest. Combat usually lasts roughly 10 seconds a round, instead of 6 seconds, like in D&D, because fuck that. And one can perform a skill check for oh, right here, you have a full action, and then a free action. Okay, so that's right. You have 2 standard actions and then a free action. Your standard action lets you either make a play on something, you can move on it, and then you have to do certain situations as well. But free actions are like talking, skill checking, and item using, which is all here. You can also block as well, which gives you more to your strength modifier. Oh, let's wait. Oh, right. Blocking lets you take an action to instead throw up your shield or sword, which lets you add your strength mod to your armor a second time. So you have a strength of 3, you have armor of 4, that means you have 7 armor. If you throw up your shield, you get 3 more. It lets you double your strength mod for that round. Forgot about that. It may take like 3 years before I actually get it. Boo. I am so sorry. But yeah, you can also move up to whatever your speed is. You can also ambush, depending on if you are in combat or not. If you're not in combat, you ambush, and then the people who ambushed all go around, and then you all roll to see who goes, if that makes sense. So you roll for your ambush round, you do your ambush round, and then you roll again to see the new order with the enemies now also fighting you. So you get a free round basically with no enemies attacking you. Da 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 da. And then of course right here it explains why and when you would get disadvantage. Just simple little rules. It's not that long. The rules are actually very short and sweet. And some of them you can ignore if you don't want to, but they're just basic ass rules. Also, when you get knocked out and you get hit to 0 hit points, that's right, I added a scarring system. If you get fucked up and get knocked to 0 hit points, you have a chance to take a scar. And you roll it on a roll table. If it says you don't get a scar, you're fine. But then, if you roll it and it tells you where you get the scar and what the scar is, that's what you got. So, someone cleaves you with an axe, you do a roll, and let's say you get an indented, like, slab of muscle on your leg. That's what you got, and you gotta work with it. Can you explain the skill check the cat needs to do the video I sent in VC? What?
What does that mean?
Let's see. I have to see what the cat trap is. That's so mean.
That little guy can't get out.
I know. No, let him free. He didn't do it. That sounds cool laugh.
I hope so. I'm trying.
Let's see. Oh yeah, you can also do mounted attacks. While you're on a horse, you can do attacks. I have little rules for that. Also, if you get knocked off your horse, you're clearly prone for a round because you're on the floor trying to pick yourself up.
What, Cecil?
Just simple little rules. I don't have to read all of them in order for you to know. Yeah, I just tried to cover everything. And if while we're playing, something comes up, I'm like, fuck, I don't know, I didn't think of that. And then we come up with a solution that sounds the best.
Hi, Julia.
So, after that, oh yeah, you can also tame a creature. If your mount is a living creature, it also has its own hit points and can die if not taken care of. You have to take care of your mounts. I don't think you have to actively feed the creature, because I think that would be stressful. I don't want to, like, Tamagotchi my players. Little fella not passing the strength save to get out, Laurel. Yeah, he didn't pass. Poor Bubby. You know what, Loros? That's fair. Cecil also gets put in jail when he's a little claw bastard.
Aren't you a little claw bastard?
Right now he's being a cute baby because Leon's holding him and smooching him. But yeah, let's see. You're living gay baby jail, basically. Vehicles such as carts also have a limit to how much it can be damaged. Yeah, everything has a limit of damage, obviously. But horses, mounts, and vehicles like carts are and ships as well, are kind of, they're gonna have to be given special attention to depending on what my players end up doing, because you have ways of traveling like that. You can travel on a ship. You can travel on a cart. Alright, if the creature you're mounted is not fully trained, you have to make skill checks to stay on and keep control. Basically, your mounting checks. Simba's a darling. It's just there is the second smaller cat inside them that only seeks destruction. Cute.
Cecil's like that too. Hi, my baby. Hi. Baby boy, baby, pet the boy.
Oh, he heard smooches from Dad. Oh, he gets smooches from Dad. Cute. Let's see, when attacking another mounted enemy, the weapon may be any length as long as the unit is within range of that weapon. Right, so you can have sword combat with someone. If someone's running past you on their own horse and you're on a horse, you can smack them. But if you're on the ground, you're probably not going to be able to reach them unless you have, like, a pike or something. So there are a couple of rules to that. Because I would love to see mounted combat once in a while. It looks really fun. I gotta look at my friend's cats this weekend. Cute! So after that, the world interaction, done. I don't have to read any more of that shit. Character! Let's go create our character. So that's when the sheet really starts coming into play. We've gone over the points. Now we're gonna start working on this up here. Your races! I worked so hard on these races. You better be happy about them. So, there are a good amount of races in here. There are 2 continents in this world. There is Eldrig, the tiny little continent that's attached to the much bigger continent called the Titanlands. But then there's another continent to the... what's the word? To the east... no. That's east. West. It's to the west of it. It's a bigger series of islands, and it's also considered a continent. It is called Damaska. So there's Eldrick right here, tiny, and then you have Damaska right here, it's bigger. And it's just a series of islands. I could probably pull up a map, actually. Date idea, character creation. They're enjoying it since you were so enthusiastic. Bro, I'd love to just sit down with Leon and just be cute and make like 2 characters as like a fun exercise.
Hi, babe.
Oh no! Better date idea. Create a character for the other person. Knowing their likes and their aesthetics. What?
Cecil! Kiss a boy.
That would be kind of interesting. Cecil? Oh, do you? I'm so excited now. Cecil, please be careful. My cat almost slipped and fell, but he just so wanted Papa kisses. He just so wanted kisses from me. So I gave him a smooch. For his efforts. Someone else I know's cat has several kittens earlier this year. They have grown up so fast.
That is cute.
I love kitties. Kitties are my favorite. Cats are my favorite pet animal. If we're talking about, like, wild animal, I want to say, like, it's a toss-up between, like, bats and red pandas. Red pandas are adorable. But my favorite pet is a cat. Kitties are so silly. Alright, but yeah, the races, this is how it works. So I've written down that there is a fuck ton of races, in the realm of Eldrick, and even more on the island continent of Damaska. As such, they have mingled and interacted for thousands of years, trading ideas, cultural customs, and even each other to make half-breeds during their long history of civilizations that have cropped up. Basically, there ain't no just half-elves. That's lame, or just half-orcs. That shit's lame. There's half-breeds of anything and everything. Oh, baby. Babe, come on. Look how cute he is. Little sweetie pie. So, basically, these dudes have been hanging out and figuring each other out for thousands of years. Where they are currently is a bunch of shaky alliances, although some of them are not very happy. Some territories and kingdoms are not happy with each other. But there isn't any, like, crazy-ass war that has broken out yet. I say yet. That is my starting point for my campaign. And I'm going to explore that in just a moment here. So here I write out as well that there are a myriad of kingdoms as well. A little more kingdoms than there are races, of course. And each kingdom seems to be dominated by 1 or 2 races specifically, but that doesn't mean it's homogenous.
Thank you for that, Petros.
It's weird to me how half-breeds work in things most of the time because it's always half human as the other half. Yeah, it's stupid. There's two half-breeds in D&D, for instance. Half-elf and half-orc, and they're both human, like half. It's like, fuck off. No, we're not doing that. Here, if it's compatible, it can make a hybrid, which will be down here in a minute. But yeah, basically, I removed the concept of sub-races, because sub-races are fucking stupid, and I changed it to ethnicities, but it doesn't give you points for anything. So, for instance, if you were playing D&D and you chose an elf to play, you could choose a sub-race called the High Elf. It would give you extra stats and extra abilities. Fuck that, we're not doing that. We threw that out. We're doing something called cultures. Anyone can belong to any culture, so if, let's say, I made a human and I wanted to be part of the High Elf culture, I could. So here, that's exactly what I explained. Kingdoms and cultures... Kingdoms have their own distinct, like, dominant culture, basically. When the bee people are unhappy with the people races because they had to keep trying to con them out of honey.
Not the honey.
I had one of my characters have a sibling that was a half-orc, half-Goliath. Yo, that sounds dope as fuck. That sounds sick as hell. But yeah.
Is that your dad?
No. No, my sweet boy. Cecil is all over Leon's desk, laying all over him. Is there a bear race? Can we make Sir Barrington? No. I'll go over what the races are and then you can figure out what you want. That's true. Vandalt has bear.
Vandalt has bats? Eek eek. Eek eek.
Cute. But yeah, most kingdoms do have like a dominant culture. That doesn't mean there aren't just one culture there. But I did only focus on writing one culture per kingdom. Otherwise, I will bog myself down in writing, and I will bog my players down in information. We don't want that for either of us. So I keep it as simple as possible unless someone comes to me with something specific, in which case I will work with them and be like, yeah, we'll do this. Let's go. So the different cultures, like I said, has to do with the kingdom or the territory that they're in. And culture covers your food, what you like to wear, and what customs you have. So, yeah, it's common to see one's race matching your culture, but there's plenty of people who have migrated from one kingdom to another. For instance, in my world, there was actually a merchant woman who was a silver elf, silver alb. Specifically, it's an elf, a type of elf. She has lovely black hair, but her clothing was a mixture of cultures. It was a combination of clothing, or of cultural clothing that she wore from her old country, her old home, and then she was mingling it. Hi, Barian, nice ass slap. She was mingling that outfit with a little bit of accessories from the culture she was currently in. So no one is purely one or the other if they are sharing multiple cultural significances. And if you're a hybrid, even more so. So hybrid compatibility, I made a list. I made a list of who's compatible with who. So obviously humans are compatible with each other. If they're the same race, they're compatible. There is high, low, and no compatibility. If you're a high compatibility race, that means that race can have kids too. I arrive on the wings of a holy booty smack. Yeah, you do. But yeah, if it's a high compatibility, that means you create a hybrid that can also have its own kids. If it's low compatibility, they're considered more like mules, where they're infertile. And if it's no compatibility, you can't have a kid with it. So this is how many hybridizations you can have. Be careful, bud.
Started scratching your eye.
Oh,
Are you just trying to take out your eyes? Silly little kid.
oh, Angie. Yeah, Cecil accidentally scratched his, like, above his brow, kind of, with his little claw, and he hurt himself, so we've been keeping that clean. I still have my drow who was raised by dwarves, so they secretly dug at doors. That's so cute! Yeah, shit like that. That's what I want. But meanwhile, like, D&D just doesn't feel like it's... I don't know, it doesn't let you do that. And if you have a DM that's not cool, they won't let you do that either. But in this system, you can do that. You can very easily make an elf or an alb. I keep calling them alfs because that's the Vandalt version. You can very easily make an alb that once, let's say, they are raised by dwerg, these little guys, yeah, it works. Granted, it's a little rough, but it could work. And then I explain how the half-breeding system works if you make a half-breed. Can I make a little mushroom, though? No, I don't think there's little mushrooms. But, yeah, I explain how it works, like, a character, or a race that's, like, this height, it mingles with a race that's this height, you pick underneath, you pick between that if you want. It's one of those. You take from each parent what you would like. And then, of course, we have the list of races. So you guys get to know what's actually here. So we have man, of course, humans, the race of man, as was called in The Lord of the Rings. The race of men are pretty dope. They're pretty well known for their technological advancements. Because they're a shorter-lived race, they actually have a pretty good grasp on technology. They're starting to try and make technological advancements. That's cute, Loros. Ugh, little bird boy. Raised by fishermen, so they're more proficient in swimming than flying.
That's a duck. Loros, you just made a duck.
Guess my little mushroom's just gonna chill in Minecraft with the heck house. Yeah, that's where that mushroom is. But yes, humans have also started spreading like wildfire around Eldrig, and are pretty much taking up a good portion of the continent. And they're everywhere. They're crawling around everywhere. And then we have the Albs, which is how I've spelt it. The Albs are actually going extinct, slowly but surely. They have started having trouble, as you can see here. The Albs are beginning to dwindle as a species since their acclimation with the other races. Well, on one hand, they're kind of getting bred out, but on the other hand, they've also been in a lot of heated wars with each other. Only until recently have they calmed the fuck down, but their numbers are so low. And some of them have actually started mingling with humans, specifically to make hybrids, and hope that later, those hybrids can come out with stronger, full Albs. I think that's what we actually did with the Liger. We did that whole program, where we took two types of big cats, I believe it was a lion and a tiger, put them together, and then hoped they would come out to make more later. Of course, the hot ones are going extinct. Life is cruel. They're not going extinct. They're just almost endangered. There's more half-elves than there are regular elves. But they'll take anything at this point. So it says they're all clustered in the same region of the far west and scattered on a few islands surrounding the land that they consider their ancestral homes. Some of their territories and cultures are so isolationist that most people, even some Albs, have no idea they even exist. I just realized there's a mushroom hat in Dragon Ball Xenoverse, so I can make my little mushroom.
Cute.
So yeah, those are the Albs. And then we have the Dwerg. They are burrowers. So, fun fact, I based every single race here on an animal. Humans, man, we're clearly just giant primates, obviously. Primate? That's a Pokemon. Primate. We're giant apes. Albs are actually based slightly off of dragons and cats. But more so dragons, for reasons I won't get into here. Also adding to the Liger thing, there's a Leoger. They name used as dependent on what the male and female are, and they express different qualities too. That's so fucking cool. Yeah, we've been doing those kind of breeding programs so we can, like, breed the lion and tiger back in or whatever. It's fucking cool. Leoger. Is that like a lion? What is that? What's a Leoger? Is it a lion, tiger, but female? I don't know. I'm trying to think, and my brain is not braining today. But yeah, Albs are based off of cats and dragons, loosely. The Dwerg are based off of mole creatures, moles, mice, and all of their names. I know Tyon is the reverse of a Liger, but I don't know what a Leoger is. Yeah, I don't know. Leoger sounds like a fucking monster for Monster Hunter. I'm a Leo that was born in the year of the tiger, so I'm a Liger. Nice. It's a lion tiger, but you swap the species of the parents. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's fucking interesting. That's so wild. Nature's cool, man. But yeah, the Dwerg are based off of burrowing creatures, burrowing animals. Which explains why they're underground. In fact, the Mole Dwerg are technically based off of the naked mole rats. And their culture is based off of it too. We'll get into that later. But they can live in mountains, but they can also live in shallow hills. Think of the hobbits. The hobbits in this world are just Dwerg. And then there's the Dwerg that live in the trees. We'll cover that once we get to the actual races. The Darren. I love my Darren. The Darren are beautiful. All of these races, by the way, so far, the Man, the Albs, the Dwerg, and the Darren, are all holdovers from Kana. And I never got to play with the Dwerg or the Darren, which is why the elves got the most attention. But now I've nuked them, and I'm like, I'm not gonna... Y'all had your story, you get to sit there now. The Darren are they're based off of deer, rams, impalas, anything with horns and ungulate feet. I made a Darren and I miss him terribly. He is a cutie pie, actually. But they are kind of warrior-ish, but it depends on the culture. The women are actually the ones in charge of everything. And once again, remember, I did not draw these pictures. They're just little pictures I grabbed from Pinterest to be like, this is what they kind of look like. And even then, they're not, like, completely accurate. But basically, these guys were nomadic fighters. They loved moving around. They think of like the nomadic peoples in like certain parts of Africa who follow their herds. They're nomadic, but nowadays they're being pushed. Does a narwhal count? I don't know. I don't think so. Narwhals don't have hooves. But these guys are being pushed to the south of Eldrig and being forced to comply with a worldview that they just don't like. They're being forced to be agricultural when they are nomadic, and they're like, this sucks. So there's been a lot of skirmishes on their borders, a lot, and they've actually taken to raiding. They love being raiders now. They're nomadic raiders. They're ungulates, though, and they have a horn tooth. Wait. Do they have 2 horns, though? You need 2. 2 horns to be an ungulate.
I'll see any cute little goat ears. They have goat ears.
So yeah, they're dealing with shit. That shit's bubbling. And then we have a cute little race. Yes, this is a Twilight. Someone's Twilight OC. Because, 2 months into making these guys, I was like, y'all look like Twilight. So I've just been taking inspiration from the Twilight. But these guys also lived underground. And we actually made these races, this race, for my first ever section of world building. I just made them from scratch one day. I'm like, fuck it, I want to make a cool bat looking race. And then they started looking like Twilight, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna make a Twilight inspired race. These guys are spider lovers that live underground and are actually considered newcomers to the world. They've only been around for about a century now. And people have slowly gotten used to them. I think their horn is made up of 2 spiraled together, but dang, no cute little ears. Disqualified! So that is what the underlings are. I love them. They are beautiful babies. Pet, 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 pet. We'll go over them in a minute, because their culture is completely finished. While everyone else's culture, I have not written yet, because I want to see what my players will pick. And then we have the New World races. The New World, or Damaska, is that big island over here that I was talking about. You know, here's Eldrig. Here's Damaska. These guys are from there. Now, I used to have the Shayani, these guys, from Eldrig as well, but it felt more appropriate to put them back on Damaska. I've also ripped out a few more races that I just could not feel connected to. For instance, my bugs, not the Kobesh. The Kobesh are a different thing. They were called the Catel. The Catel were like ants and termites and bees and wasps. And I was like, I like them, but I don't know what to do with them. So I ripped them out. I'm like, I don't need them. And I also ripped out the Zahima. The Zahima were supposed to be an elephant race because whenever I made the Shayani, back when all of these guys were from my old world Kana, I was like, hey, I made basically Hindu god race. What if I made a Ganesh-looking race? And then I did, and now I'm sitting here going, I don't know what to do with them. So I ripped those 2 out. I don't need them. Blop, I plopped them. So, on Damaska, we have the Shayani. They are on an island. So here's Damaska, and then here's this big ol' island, like 2 islands right here and here. I believe they call them Big Brother and Little Brother. They live on this island, and they love it. It's wonderful. Shayani are gorgeous people with 4 arms, and they come under any color under the rainbow, as long as it's like super bright of a color. What? Leon says we might be going down? What do you mean? The internet? Uh-oh. Okay, guys, if we get cut off, it's because the internet's going down. So let me know. Let me know if the internet starts going down. There's an elephant race in D&D, but they're lesser used. Yeah, I have heard about that. I don't remember what they're called, but my Zahima are less like an elephant that stood up and more like a person that got more plus-sized with an elephant head on. It's literally like Ganesh, or Ganesha. Here, I can pull up a picture of them real quick to show you guys. Because I have inspiration, I have folders like filled to the brim with pictures of shit that I want as reference material, so let me go find those. Krumdal, Zahima. They have hair. Something like this. Like, this is a baby Ganesha. They have hair. It's like a plus-sized person, like a chubby person with an elephant head and hair. Basically. Let me look for another one. But they only have 2 arms. And most of the, like, references, they have 4. But they only have 2. Oh, I can't use that one. That one has boobs. I like this. I based them off of Ganesh. Of course, Green Fog! Thank you! We will have a wonderful stream. Or like this. So, like I said, less whatever the D&D made and more Hindu god again. Let's see. Yeah, alright, so I'm gonna close this out because I don't need it anymore. But the Shayani are very wonderful spiritual people. We'll cover them, like, extensively here in a bit, though. The Skarma. I love the Skarma. They are elves, but cats. They're just cat people. You know the Thundercats? Them. It's Thundercats. They're fast. They're not really feral, but they are considered feral by other races. They're like, oh no, you're a cat. And they do have stripes, they also have spots, and they have a tail. And I love them. And then, of course, we have the Gobble. They're goblins, but with bunny ears that flop. And it lays on their shoulders, and I love them. Hi, Cecil. My cat is being on the floor and being cute. What's wrong, babe? Oh, mine's still on.
Hi,
Floop. Oh my god, my head. Please help me. Oh my god, that was... Jeez! What the fuck was that? What did you do to me, dog? Lillian, explain yourself. I need to know. Also, Lillian, welcome in. I am explaining my TTRPG. Discombobulate.
Don't quit it.
Well, there it is. Memorized for all to see. But yeah, my Gobles, they're... Oh wait, you got here just in time. This is your race. The Gobles are adorable. I've got to get going. Have a good rest of the stream. Of course, Apple! And thank you again for the follow. I hope you enjoy yourself here. But these little dudes are fast as shit, and they're also curious as fuck, and cute as hell. And I love them. We'll be going over them. Literally. What, darling? Aw, Leon's internet is dying. Mine's still here, mine's still holding on, but I am warning you now, if my internet goes down, like if stream suddenly cuts off, you know why, it's because our internet's being a shithead. And then we finally have the Krumdal. They're kind of like my orcs, I guess, but I would attribute them more to hobgoblins than orcs. Or like, yeah, no, hobgoblin. Desmond are here slurping up on the internet. Me. And they're kind of like considered the boar-like cousins of the Darren. So while the Gobel are considered kind of like the cute green cousins of the Dwerg, and the Skarma are considered like the feral cats of the Albs, the Krumdal are the boar cousins of the Darren. They are very territorial. They're the opposite of the Darrens. The Darrens love walking around and being nomadic and following herds, and they love the exploration. These guys stick to a place and they stay there. They are the guardians of a specific zone they're in, and that's it. That's all they touch, and they will get very angry at you if you try to cross their border. So, now that we've covered all that, we'll go to social classes in a minute. I want to explore each race, and we're gonna go over what I need to add, because my races need shit.
Thank you for the pet level.
So if I go to pages, you can see here all the pages that I have. And in here you can see I have my races all set up. So if we were to click on that button, it would take us to man, to humans. Well, it's not loading. Does Desmond know he cool boy? Am I a cool boy? I'm a cool guy, I'm a cool guy. I'm a cool guy, I'm a cool guy. Okay, so the picture's not loading, but I don't care. Oh, none of the pictures are loading. Oh, that's cool. Uh-oh. Huh. Let me redo this. I think my internet's going down soon, guys. Cool 9 squats, man! Oh yeah, the website's dropping. Okay guys, if I disappear, you know why. My shit broke. Oh good, there's rolling blackouts apparently. So if you guys are still here, we're gonna have to just raid out. Cause apparently our internet is going to be down and dead for the next, like, I do not wish to be battens. I know, I'm sorry. We may just need to raid out real quick because shit is dying.